One of my favorite scenes and moments in Devil May Cry history happened in the DMC reboot video game, and I was hoping they would have something similar to this scene in the animated series.
Get your filthy fucking claw off my trailer. Missed.
Unfortunately, you can't get everything that you wish for, right? And welcome to my Safe Gayven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for clicking on another video and joining me here on the BlackGayComicGeek channel. But if this is your first time checking out the channel, checking out one of my videos, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek, and I always say the things that I love to talk about here on my channel has mostly blood, sex, gore, and magic. So I mostly like to talk about fantasy, sci-fi, action, animation, horror movies. And of course, I like to talk about black representation and queer representation. So if that's something that you're interested in, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Help me to grow the channel. Help me to boost the views. You can also hit the like button because it tells YouTube that this video is worth getting out there. This channel is worth getting out there. So more eyes can see the channel, more eyes can subscribe so I can continue to grow, so I can continue to become hopefully a full-time content creator. So guys, with that said, speaking of fantasy, as you can see, I am wearing a gamer shirt because I am a gamer. We are talking about a series that I was really anticipating coming out of Netflix, Devil May Cry, the animated adaptation of a video game. I played literally every single Devil May Cry video game, even the reboot DMC. I don't want to say that I'm like steeped in the lore of Devil May Cry, that I could just give you facts about it off the top of my head like I could like for Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something like that. But like I said, I played all the games, so I at least know of the world, and I'm a big fan of the Devil May Cry games, and I can't wait and hoping that they make a Devil May Cry 6. Devil May Cry 5, I feel like came out so long ago, and I'm like, when are we getting another game? And then not only just that, but the same person that made Castlevania and produced Castlevania, Adi Shankar, is the same person that's behind this series. So I was like, oh, you know, that alone, you know this series is gonna be great. I did find out though that it's a different animation studio. The people that did Castlevania was Powerhouse Animation Studio. This is Studio Near. But let's get into it. The Devil May Cry Netflix series says, while being hunted by the government organization Dark Realm Command, Darkcom, under Vice President William Baines, Dante, a demon hunter for hire, comes into conflict with a demon-obsessed terrorist called the White Rabbit, who seeks revenge on the human race. But yeah, getting into it, even though it's not Powerhouse Animation Studios, the animation of this is pretty great. Like, I'm not a person that can like fully judge animation. I just know it looks damn good. So I can't even really tell it's not Powerhouse Animation Studio. Like the animation and the fight scenes, the fight choreography, the action, like it's fluid. I can at least tell that it's fluid. It looks really good. Like it looks like they put money behind this series. Like honestly, it's a better animation than Invincible. And the thing about this series, you know, talking about the blood, sex, gore, and magic, they don't shy away from the blood and the gore, almost like in the video game. Like this is basically an animated adaptation of the video game come to life. The only thing that kind of throws me off a lot is because in the show, Johnny Young Bosch, who most people would know as Adam, the Black Ranger in Power Rangers, who replaced Walter Jones, the original Black Ranger, Adam is the voice, or Johnny Young Bosch is the voice of Dante. In the video games, Johnny Young Bosch voices a different character in the Devil May Cry universe. I'm not going to say who that character is, but every time I hear him speak, I think of him as the other character. And so it took me a little bit trying to get used to him voicing Dante. But that's just a me thing. Or a thing that you would have to get used to if you're a fan of the video games. If you don't play the video games, it's not going to bother you because he does a good job. And then also the thing about this show, the soundtrack is great. Like it's like late 90s, early 2000s with the soundtrack. Like you got Limp Bizkit as the keep rolling, 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 rolling. Like that's the opening theme song. Every time I hear that song, I always think of like Undertaker when he was on his American Badass phase, because that's the theme song that he came out with in the WWE. They also had some Evanescence, Rage Against the Machine, Papa Roach, and I was like, okay, Devil May Cry, and I knew a lot more songs than I thought I would have. Like every song that they played, I was like, I know this song. I know that this is a bop. This was a bop when it first came out. And speaking of like gorgeous animation, episode 6, I feel like is an episode that people will really get into. And the brilliance about episode 6 is it's strictly animation. There's no dialogue at all in episode 6. And it's just a beautiful episode. And like, speaking of that, there's something that they do in the series that part of me, that's very different from the games, that part of me is like, I don't know how I feel about this, but it is an interesting take. Slight spoilers, very, very, very slight spoilers. If you don't want to know, I would say skip ahead like 30 seconds. But there's a moment in the games where you feel like not all demons, but there are certain demons that aren't necessarily evil. Some of them are like refugees trying to escape hell, which is very different from the game. In the games, demons are evil. All demons are virtually evil. And so I was just like, did we need like a demon refugee story? I don't know. But considering the idea, because like also with the character, you have the character who is a demon knight named Sparta. So the lore of this world is you had this powerful demon named Sparta, and the human world and the demon world were once connected at a certain point. But Sparta rebelled against the demons of hell and created a barrier to separate the human world and the demon world. And I'm like, well, if he's like the one good demon, or like are all demons just evil, or just you just happen to have one demon that happened to rebel? So I guess if you think about it from that aspect, you can't just have one demon that's quote unquote a good demon. It would make sense if there are other non-evil demons. It's just Sparta happened to be one of the most powerful ones. So I'm like, on that aspect, it makes sense. But like, I was still just like, is it needed? But like, I didn't have a problem with it. I was just like, okay, that's different. But also with this, I believe this is Kevin Conroy's last role since he passed away. Kevin Conroy is actually voicing the vice president in this series. And so that's going to suck going forward if this show gets a season 2, which I'm already going to say, I hope it gets a season 2. But yeah, it's no longer going to be Kevin Conroy. But that vice president, there's something going on with that vice president. That man needs to be watched. That's all I'm going to say about the series. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the series. There's one thing that they do in the beginning where Dante fights a shape-shifting demon. And there's something that they do with that shape-shifting demon that I'm not a fan of. I'm not going to say more about that because this is obviously a non-spoiler review. But other than that, for the most part, I enjoyed this series. I had fun. I pretty much binged it in one sitting, and it was good. So I definitely recommend you check it out, especially if you're fans of Devil May Cry, or if you've never seen Devil May Cry. I still think it's something to check out. If you're a fan of Castlevania, if you're a fan of demons, you're a fan of magics, you know, blood, gore, all that stuff, check out Devil May Cry. It's 8 episodes, and yeah, hopefully there's a season 2. So with that said, have you watched all of Devil May Cry? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think about episode 6? What did you think about the whole demons aspect of the storyline? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, interact for the all gay rhythm. If this is one of your first time checking out one of my videos, hopefully check out the other videos on my channel. Tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. Hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.